Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the cannabis sector. First up is ticker symbol APHQF, that's Afria. They're in talks right now with Altria Group, the maker of Marlboro cigarettes. They're in talks right now, and so this got the share price moving. We've been saying for quite a while that Afria was the next big target for somebody to team up with or take over and or head to the big boards. So this has been on our radar. It did heat up on Monday with that close above the EMA 4 here. You could see the white candle down here closed above the pink line. That the pink line EMA 4 had been resistance. So that close on Monday was a signal that the chart was heating up. And then on Tuesday it closed above the lime line. That's EMA 8. And then today it's followed through with the break above EMA 13 and the middle Bollinger Band. It also broke above this descending resistance line, so this downtrending channel has been broken, and so there's the possibility of a new uptrend starting. It needs to hold the middle Bollinger Band at 1423. That's the big level. Notice the big volume spike today. So there's huge volume. You know, this is a nice volume spike behind the move on a break above resistance. That's exactly what you want to see. So now it needs to break high close horizontal resistance. That's the closing price here on the 10th and 11th. It's right up here around 1650. You can see the upper Bollinger Band's at 1637. It's going to need to break above 1650 and close above that level and turn it into support to head higher. If it hits that level and fails to break, it could form a temporary top. It could possibly form a double top. If you look up here at the indicators, you can see here on RSI, it's at 59. It's in the 50 to 70 bull zone, and it has a lot of room to run to run until that 70 overbought level. And as you can see here on the previous big run that it had in August, RSI was above 70 during the run. So there's a lot of juice in the tank, as we like to say. And then now you have Fasto is above 80. It had been below 80. It was down here at the 20 oversold level. You can see on that last big run, it stayed above 80 during the run. So this is signaling the possible start of the next push higher. It's going to be all about breaking 1650. Another signal that this is the possible start of the next run is this crossover on ADX. You can see the green line plus DI crossed over the black line and the red line. That's ADX and minus DI. That's another signal the bulls are taking over. Okay, here's another one. Check out MACD on the 8, 13, and 5 time frame. Notice the MACD line is the black line, and then that purple blue line is the signal line. The black line crossed over the signal line today. We call that the MACD bull cross, and it signals the possible start of the new uptrend. Now the 8, 13, and 5 signals sooner than the 12, 26, and 9. The 12, 26, and 9 is the standard that most people use, and you can see it's curling up, it's hooking up. So this takes a little bit longer to signal. If this gets a bullish crossover, that's going to be a really good sign. It's going to want to head higher. Look what happened on the last bullish crossover. Okay, back here just before the 20th, and if you look on the chart, that was at the start of the last run. Okay, so yeah, sweet move for Afria. If you look here on the weekly chart for Afria, you can see here it's up 21% on the week, and RSI is only at 64. You know, it's ran up to 90 multiple times, so there's a lot of room to head higher. You got Fasto back above 80, so the chart's heating up. Okay, so the bulls are in control. When you have the green line above the black line and the red line, that's a signal the bulls are in control, so that's good. And this is a nice uptrend on the weekly chart. Right now, it's trying to break high close resistance from September. If it can close above that level for the week, then you have the all-time high close here from back in January on deck. That's right below $18. That will be the next target if it can turn this 1550 zone into support. So yeah, and you can notice here how that's lining up with this doji. You know, this 1550 level is a huge level. If there's a close above that level for the week, that should be the signal that it wants to run back up to 18. If it runs back up to that 18 level, the all-time high is up here at 20. Those are the upward targets if this very strong uptrend continues. We really like Afria a lot, and what happens is you know, patience pays off. You know, that sometimes it just takes a little while. Okay, let's look at GWPH. This is getting beaten down big time, down 4.5%. They just got FDA approval for the very first cannabis drug in the United States, approved by the FDA and the DEA. Their Epidiolex seizure medication, and so this is a buying opportunity. Okay, when it gets down to these levels. Okay, if it comes down there, it could drop lower, and you can see here on the previous big pullback, it dropped below 30. But anytime you can get a chance to buy GWPH below 30 on RSI, and you're a long-term investor, you're just looking for a trade, that's a good place to load a stock like GWPH. This is the top marijuana pharmaceutical company in the world. They are the leaders. And so, yeah, if you want exposure to the pharmaceutical side of the cannabis industry, GW Pharmaceutical is your stock. And so right now with Fasto all the way down here at 0.84, it's signaling very oversold. Now sometimes it does stay below 20, and so this looks like it could be one of those times. I mean, this is a very nasty pullback from the all-time high up here at 180. Now it's down to 140. It's hitting the key level. Okay, so check out this red line here. This is the 200-day simple moving average at 138. Notice how all these candles were bouncing off of this 138 level. This is a really big support level. With being down this big, and with Fasto and RSI at these levels, you would think it could get a bounce off of this zone. This is where it bounced off of last time in August. It did shoot below that level, and so if it does shoot below 138, what you have down here is the 300-day simple moving average at 129, and you have the lower Bollinger Band at 134. Notice that the downtrend started up here at the top. The upper Bollinger Band is a solid purple line. It started at the very, very top, and it's working its way all the way down. It might have to come down and test that lower Bollinger Band before it gets a technical bounce, similar to this. And so if you see it come down and the lower wick hit that 134 zone, that's going to be an opportunity, I think, for people to try to play the bounce if support holds. If it comes down to 129 and the 300-day simple moving average, that would be a sweet level for GWPH. Yeah, we should see buyers stepping in. If you want to play it safe, what you want to do is wait for a break back above EMA4 at 146. As long as candles are forming below that level, it will be a risk to hold overnight long. It has to close above that level and turn it into support to get a new uptrend going. Similar to this white candle right here, how it was trading below and then it finally traded above, and that's when it pushed higher. That's what's going to have to happen here. You're going to have to get a candle above that pink line, and then that's when it can make a move to the next level. Get the bounce going at least get a technical bounce. Right now we're looking for, what happens is when you're pulling back, you're looking for a technical bounce off of key support levels. And so, if that 138 level holds, that's the level. But if it breaks, you've got to shoot for 134 or 129. Okay, let's look at Cronus Group. Okay, ticker symbol CRON, closed up 2% on the day. Yeah, this stock is trying to bounce right now off of the 50-day simple moving average. That's what's important on this chart. You notice this is exactly what I was talking about. The lower wick hit the lower Bollinger Band here, and it bounced off. It's trying to hold the green line. If it can stay above 953, this is the reload zone. If it can stay above that 50-day simple moving average, this is at a flex point. Notice how the close is right above the green line, but it's hitting the pink line resistance. One of these two levels is going to break. Either it's going to drop below support and it's going to head lower, possibly come down to the 100 and 200-day simple moving averages, or it's finally going to close above that pink line and get a bounce going. The fact that Cronus Group was up 2.7% when the stock market, when the Dow was down 800 points in the day, that's a good sign of strength. Look how it was down. You've got, what was it, 6 days in a row, and then today a white candle formed, and so yeah, this is looking like a bullish one white soldier reversal pattern, and so that's a good reversal pattern there. And so yeah, we'll be looking for bullish reversal confirmation. It's a really small candle, really small white candle. It's just really all about breaking 970. But basically, if you want to keep this whole little Cronus technical analysis simple, above 970 equals upside potential, and below 950 equals downside risk. Real simple. Okay, finally, let's look at PYX. So this was a sweet move for a stock that was looking pretty nasty yesterday. To close flat on the day, that's impressive. I have to admit, that's impressive. RSI is still at 75 up here. You still have Fasto in the bull zone. What you want to do is keep an eye on ADX here. You don't want the green line crossing over the black line. If that happens, it could consolidate more. That would be a signal it's really cooling down. You want to see it stay above that black line. So yesterday, it formed the black candle. It came down. It filled the gap between the two candles. And then the impressive thing today was it held the pink line. It held the EMA4 at 36.8. 13.86. If you look at the analysis from yesterday, we were looking for a bounce off of the EMA4, but you had to be careful because the previous times it got above the upper Bollinger Band, it retraced back below EMA4 and it came all the way back to the middle Bollinger Band zone. And so that was the risk here, is if EMA4 broke at 36.86, it could consolidate further because there's an unfilled gap down here. I'm calling it the 29 level, and so a drop down to 29 would fill that gap, and that's the risk. If it breaks below this 37, gets into 36.80s, that's going to put this gap on deck. If there's a close below EMA4, there's a potential, it could bounce off the other moving averages, but there's a good potential it could fill that gap if EMA4 turned into resistance. Now, right now, it's hitting the key level to break. Notice it closed right at the closing price from yesterday, and so it's right there. What was the close yesterday? So close was 40.12, so it's 7 cents off. It's like right there, and so that's the key level to break. If it can break above that level, then it could head back up to that 48.49 level where the open was from yesterday. If it fails to break that turn 40 into support and push higher, that's going to be your clue. Okay, yeah, this is starting to cool down. If you look here on the 15-minute chart, this makes it really simple. There's this green line here. It's the 50 simple moving average. It's working on turning that level or breaking that level right now. You can see at 3:15 today, it got above that level but pulled back. Once the 50 simple moving average turns into support, that's when the chart can get cooking. If you look over here on the 5th of October, this is when it broke above that 50 simple moving average, and that's when the big run happened. When it's resistance, like it is right now, that signals downside risk. It has to turn into support. So just to make it an even number, if it's trading a 42 or above, that's going to be your clue. Okay, yeah, it's in play. It's heading higher, and then you're looking for 45 zone is going to be a big level, and then if it breaks above 45, it could run back up to 50 to this the high close here on the 9th. And so, but it's going to be all about breaking above 42 and turning it into support. Okay, thanks a lot for viewing this video. Good stuff in the marijuana sector. We had a nice bounce midday on the marijuana index for the North American, the Canadian, and the United States indexes, and so yeah, we're gonna the HMLSF, the Canadian marijuana ETF. It did hold up pretty well into the close today. So yeah, we're keep an eye on APHQF here. We'll see if it can break out and take it to the next level. Please come check out the chat. All right, thank you.